Hi, I'm Mike from Michael's Motor Cars, located in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and I'm very pleased to show you a car that we recently acquired that we're happy to offer for sale. Come on over and take a look at it. This car is a 1974 Triumph TR6. One thing you'll notice right away is it does not have its front bumper overriders. We do have them. They're being sold with the car. The owner of the car did not like the look of the front bumper overrides, so he left them off. This car has a very interesting history. It was built December 1973, sold as a 1974 model year. The fellow that we purchased the car from bought the car in 1985. So at that point, it was an 11-year-old used car. It had been repainted in its original color and was just an old Triumph. He drove the car for about 10 years, and then sadly, the car sat for quite a while. And more importantly, it sat outside. It was weathered quite a bit. It had substantial rust and really was in very poor condition. He then chose to fully restore the car, and he undertook a frame-off, nuts and bolts, comprehensive, professionally done restoration. The restoration work was done by Macy's Garage, located in Tip City, Ohio, and I would like to say the quality of the work is very nice. They did a beautiful job with this car. They did decide early on, due to corrosion in the floors and the lower portions of the body, and more specifically in the frame, they made, I believe, the correct decision to install a new Ratco frame on this car. So this car has a Ratco frame, which is quite an improvement over the original TR6 frame, but it's not an original frame car. They also took the further step when they received the Ratco frame. They had it entirely powder coated. So you'll see from our chassis photos, this car is beautiful underneath, beautiful on top. They did choose, when they did the repaint and refurbishment, it is done in its original carmine red. So this is the color, the burgundy color the car was born with. It is a numbers matching car. They retained the original motor. When they did the restoration, and we have over 600 photos of the restoration process. We also have full documentation, all the receipts, all the work that was done, fully documented. Very extensive restoration. On the motor alone, they rebuilt the entire motor. They did 20 over pistons, so of course new pistons and rings. They rebuilt the cylinder head. They put in 12 new valve guides. They replaced all the valves. They put in hardened seats to help with the newer fuels. To the best of my knowledge, it was all done as a stock configuration. It also has a new camshaft sprocket, new timing chain. Just when you read through the invoices on this car, clearly no expense was spared. Going through the drivetrain, they rebuilt the entire transmission, all new synchros, all new bearings, all new seals and gaskets. This is an overdrive car, so it's 4-speed with overdrive. They also overhauled the entire overdrive unit. And you'll see when we test drive this car, this is one of the fastest operating overdrives I've seen in a long time. It just goes in, goes out immediately, which is great. The transmission shifts beautifully, as you would expect. They rebuilt the drive shaft, all new U-joints in the drive shaft. They also rebuilt the differential. Again, all new bearings, seals, gaskets. They adjusted the lash properly in the drive shaft with the pinion gears. They also rebuilt all of the suspension components, so it's all been replaced. The major restoration was done from 2013. They completed it about 2015. So about a 2-year span in the restoration shop getting everything done. I think they paid nice attention to the originality of the car. You'll see in the photos of the top, it does have the correct top with the reflective tape around it. They left the car very original looking. You go here to the dash. It's the original steering wheel. The dash, and all of this has been replaced, is all new when it was restored. The wood is beautiful, the dash top, everything, the fit and finish is very, very nice, particularly for a Triumph TR6. The seats are the original frames. They chose to restore the frames. They had them painted, sandblasted, and then this is all new fabric and new material. The door cards, of course, are all new. And they also spent extensive time and you can see this in the receipts, getting the door shut lines better than they were from the factory. They built up some lead around the doors, and it shows. This car has closer, tighter shut lines than it ever would have had from the factory. We also have right now, which we're offering for sale shortly, a 75 car TR6 that is 100% original. So it's fun to compare this well-restored car to a completely original car, and this car stands up very well. Back here along the back, of course, given the level of quality that was done, this is done properly. They did not fill these seams, which is done so many times. This is correct and proper. Of course, TR6 people will know all of this. Coming to the back of the car, they did the correct black on the rear-facing tail. The trunk is perfectly finished. They have correct carpeting. They bound it. We have a jack. We have a replacement spare underneath. And again, everywhere you look on this car, the details very nicely done. It essentially is a brand new Triumph TR6. And we have, as I've been mentioning, documented receipts of around $70,000. We do have the red line tires. Coming around to this side, same thing. Door cards are beautiful. There's really, this car has been driven about 1,400 miles since it was put together, so it has been broken in. It does drive beautifully. It tracks well. The brakes are good. The steering is nice and tight. It's a stainless steel exhaust system. It's an original style exhaust, so it's quiet, the way a TR6 would have been from the factory. The car was actually built in December of 1973. So if you're looking for a very nice, well-documented car that has been in one owner since 1985, a lot of care and thought went into this restoration, and it presents beautifully today. Please ask us any questions you may have. We'll be happy to post as many of the receipts as possible, but they are lengthy and highly detailed with what the shop did. So if you're looking for basically a brand new TR6, please consider our car. Thanks for taking the time and looking at it.